make space for people coming out of the tube station. And if the speakers up here could then make their way to the stage, and everybody get ready to shout to this government that we want no cuts and no austerity. No cuts, no austerity.
And the telephone service outsourced to Capita is in meltdown. Residents find it almost impossible to reach their services or their counselors, and counselors find it almost impossible to do their jobs. Because of a flawed allocation of members to committees, the council is now in complete limbo, paralyzed until they redo this job in July.
The sun is shining on all of us, a good omen, I think, for our cause and for our struggle. But friends, by turning up today, we have made a commitment, we have made a pledge, we have made an oath that we will not accept working people, disabled people, unemployed people being made to pay for a crisis they had absolutely nothing to do with. There's so much anger, but there's one thing missing: hope. And what happens when you strip hope away? UKIP happens. Now friends, they posture as the anti-establishment party. It's comical, it's beyond satire. A party led by a privately educated ex-city trader. But here's the thing, not only do they want to slash taxes on those at the top, Not only do they want to dismantle our NHS in a way this government could never even imagine, not only do they want to strip what remaining rights they have, we have to say to people, they're letting those at the top off the hook. So let's say this to people. Who is responsible for the mess this country is in? Is it the Polish fruit picker? Is it the Nigerian cleaner? Is it the Indian nurse? Or is it the bankers who plunged this country into economic disaster? All of the people at the top are trying to turn us against each other with this politics of envy. So we must have a message of hope, of courage and of solidarity. That is what today is all about. Now friends, not only have they failed on their own terms, they've added more debt in 4 years than Labour did in 13. But that's not what this was about. This was an excuse to push policies they always wanted to get away with. The handing off of our NHS to their tax-dodging private healthcare firms, the dismantling of social security, the attack on workers' rights. But friends, this is the country they are building. A country where most people in poverty are in work, earning their poverty day after day after day. This is the 6th richest country on the face of the earth. And the poorest people, supposedly, we can't feed. So let's have this message. For everybody in work, no ifs, no buts, a living wage. We stand together, we fight together. Friends, we will win this battle together. Thank you.
How are you?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah? Are you always worrying about your health?
Well, from here, people, you look very, very beautiful indeed. Thank you so much for coming out in such numbers. And we're here with an important message for the government. And our message is that it wasn't the poor who caused the economic crisis. It wasn't people on job seekers allowance who brought down the banks. It wasn't people with disabilities who were wasting billions speculating on risky financial markets. And it's not immigrants who are thieving billions in bonuses. So that's why we're here to say, stop punishing the poor. We're here to oppose the cuts to benefits. We're here to oppose the cap on public sector wages. We're here to oppose workfare and the sanctioning of claimants. The list goes on and the pain gets deeper. And that's why we say that it is obscene that the richest 1% owns the same wealth as 54% of the population. And it is a scandal that over 500,000 people are using food banks in the 7th largest economy in the world. What about cutting down on tax evasion and tax avoidance, and let's scrap Trident? Let's change the ideology that says that public is bad and private is good. Let's say that we can make a difference. All of you being here today does make a difference. Thank you so much for being here.
Don't believe them when they say there's no money. There's just money being spent on the wrong priorities. And the wrong people are making decisions about what our money is being spent on. Let me just give you one example of that. Lindsay's talked about the wasteful spending on war. Well, when it comes to weapons and when it comes to nuclear weapons, they have a bottomless pit of spending. They're planning to spend over £100 billion on a replacement for the Trident nuclear weapons system. Well, I ask you, what do you spend your £100 billion spent on? Do you want it spent on education or nuclear weapons? So whoever's in, and I hope it is Labour, let's make sure they have the anti-austerity policies that we want. Thank you.
Thank you, Kate. Kate Hudson, CNT.
If you're looking for trouble, here's how to start. Blow up the theatres,
tear down the art. Burn down the libraries and concert halls. Cut your jazz and ballet, then cut off your balls. Because you're a serial killer of culture, a serial killer of the soul. If you're looking for trouble, take the artists you've got, stack their works all around them, then torch the lot. The human soul is hungry, and so's the human heart. The food and drink makes them feel and think. That comes from works of art. And if you take your knife and cut the arts, you can cut your throat as well, because you're a serial killer of culture, a serial killer of the soul. If you're looking for trouble, cut your grants to the poor. Seek out the old and sick and cut them some more. Suffer little children to go to school in hell, then watch them burn your cities and your country estates as well. You're a serial killer of Britain, a serial killer of its soul.
A number of things that we have to learn if this government has been doing the things that it says it's been doing. The number of things we have to learn about the way the world works. One of the things we have to learn is that apparently the country can't afford the things that it could afford 60, 70 years ago. We need austerity, so that the money must have gone somewhere. And apparently where the money has gone, the people who have taken it have been the poor. These have been the people who've taken it. It's the poor who have taken them. They used to be able to afford libraries, we used to be able to afford fire stations. We can't anymore. And apparently it's the poor. We can't take it off the rich. They can't afford it. They've got two halfpennies to rub together, the rich. This is mainstream economics now, is that the poor are richer than the rich. That's the first thing we have to learn. We used to be able to afford these things. 60, 70 years ago, there was an idea that you would be looked after, not because things were free, but because we paid for things collectively. So you went to school or maybe university, and then you maybe was able to get a council house, and then you were looked after in your old age. All of those things now we can't afford. Now you're constantly going to be in debt through university fees, buying a ridiculously priced house or saving up for your pension. All of those things we can't afford. And yet the idea, I heard a spokesman talking about it, saying we just have to be prepared to put more money aside during the years that we're working, as if most people have got all this extra money, as if at the end of every month people are thinking, I was wondering where to put that money. Thank you, government, now I can put it into an ISA account. I've been not able to walk around the house because the house is full of money. This is the Ian Duncan Smith world. If you want to change anything, you can't do it by being too extreme, you can't do it by demonstrating and wave placards, you can only do it by being moderate and winning over the middle ground, because the British people will not support a lost cause, even though over the last week many people have come together to support the lost cause of the England football team. Nonetheless, this is how you change things. It's when people fight in massive numbers, that is when you change the things that go on in there, more than sucking up to them in the way that the Labour leader has been doing. That is how we're going to change.